how much time did you spend with my underwear? And why? Hi guys, it's Lana here, and today I'm going to talk about something that's a bit creepy, I guess. So if you get creeped out easily by like stuff like this, I mean, you guys can see it in the title, then maybe you want to click off. But honestly, I feel like this is something that is useful for a lot of people to know, especially if you are planning on traveling to Korea. I think a lot of you guys have found me through those vlogs that you guys are interested in traveling to Korea and all of that stuff. So if that's you, then you might have already heard about this kind of thing, and if not, then stay tuned because this is pretty important and it's pretty creepy. This video is going to be about my creepy stories involving perverted people in Korea, and also the scandals about hidden cameras and just awful things like Seungri and just that whole group of people and this whole scandal that's currently going on. So I had this really creepy story, like it's just gonna be one part of this video now, but originally this creepy story, I was like, oh, like I should have vlogged that was funny, like because I was with Isis at the time. I was with Cece. I don't think you guys have met her yet by the time I post this video, because all of my Korea vlogs are not chronological. And I was saying to Isis, I was like, oh, this would have been so funny, like this would have been a funny vlog, I can't believe he did that. And I was considering just making like a story time about it, like just something funny. And now I'm like, wait, it's not funny. This is like a serious problem that happens a lot. Ultimately, this boils down to like a problem that is very serious. I mean, I can't even remember which order these things happened in, right? I didn't really have a plan. I went to Korea with just my first 4 or 5 days booked. I originally booked just a guest house. I spent the first few days at a guest house, and then actually I had booked the second place I was going to stay was an Airbnb. So a perverted thing happened at the guest house. I remember because Cedric was still there. Everyone every night was drinking at this guest house. Everyone was drinking until like 6, 7 a.m. So literally people were drinking all night long, and occasionally people would invite their friends over, people who were not staying there, and everyone would just drink like in the reception area, which was sort of in the basement. It was like really sociable. So they had like these sofas in there, they had a ping pong table, they had darts machine, and just drinks, just as much as you wanted to drink, it was there, because there was this one guy who worked there who was just buying drinks. Like there's nothing wrong with him, like he is a great guy, he just wants everyone to have fun, but it's like Korean culture is to like drink a lot, so he would just buy so much drink, and as soon as he finished work or something, or I don't even know when he was working, sometimes he was working and drinking at the same time. Everyone was drinking a lot. This night though, I was not really interested in drinking, I don't think. I was just like hanging out with Cedric. We were just like laying about on the sofa, just like lounging around. I think like we both almost fell asleep at one point, and then this other guy comes along, like he was a Korean dude, couldn't speak much English. So like in this place, like in the reception, everyone was speaking English, and people who couldn't really speak English were in their own little groups. So we had like a group of Russian people, there was like some French being thrown around, but in general most people were speaking English. And then obviously there was a lot of Korean as well because we were in Korea. So somebody had their friend who was Korean and he could not speak English, so he was just talking to them, and then for everybody else he was just sort of, you know, being a little menace, tickling people or whatever. I don't know what he was doing, I was not paying attention to him. Anyway, at one point he came and sat on the back of the sofa that I was on, that me and Cedric were both on. So he was there, so I was just like poking him in the back, because I don't know, like everyone was just sort of messing around with each other like this, so I was just like poking him like this, like I was just being annoying. And then he did it back to me, like whatever, like I didn't even care. And then at one point he drank too much, he fell asleep, like just in a chair, he just fell asleep. So then I came along and I just like put something on his shoulder, like put like just a little thing on his head, and then before you know it, everybody was just like piling things onto him as much as they could fit on. It was sort of like, what is that game called, like Buckaroo or something, where like until they wake up, then they will like kick it all off when they wake up. People started taking pictures of him, and then somebody took a picture with their flash, then the flash woke him up. So I don't know how he recovered from that, like he should have gone to bed after that. Like I don't know how he came back with a second win, but he came back ready to party again, like what? And then at some point Cedric went to bed, and then I went to bed a little while after Cedric did. As I went to bed, I like said goodnight to everybody. Like bear in mind, mind, right? The only interaction that I've had with this guy the whole night is literally just like poking him because he was on the back of my chair. Like, that's it. I was literally with Cedric though the whole time. Like, we were just like lounging on the sofa, not really involved in their whole drinking thing or anything. I went to bed and I said goodnight to everyone. He had his back turned to me though. Save like the door is like here and everyone was partying here. So I had to come from here and I had to walk past everybody to get to the door to leave here. So he was facing this way, so he had his back to me as I said bye to everyone. So I walked like this and I said bye, 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 and then as I came around here I just like tapped him on the shoulder and I was like bye. Literally it was just like bye, and then like walked through because I wanted to make sure I said bye to everybody. And then as I walked through the door I saw that he was laughing about something, like it's nothing to do with me, like I'm tired, I'm going to bed, so like whatever they're laughing about doesn't matter. Anyway, so I start to go up the stairs because I was only on like the first floor, so I started to go up the stairs, and as I'm about to go into the door, so I think everybody that was on this floor was all female, so they had like a door here before you got to the corridor and the door was closed. The door leading to the corridor for the rooms that was all female was closed, so I had to open that door. But anyway, just before I got to that door I saw that he was running up the stairs behind me, so I was like, oh, did he want to tell me something? Because like otherwise like it's weird that he would come up the stairs and it's weird that he would come right after me and it's weird that he would also be running. So I stopped and I was just like, hello, like what is it? I can't remember what I said, but anyway I stopped, had my hand pretty much on the door to get into the hallway, and anyway he asked me something. I don't know if he got it wrong, like maybe he thought that I could speak Korean because I can't really, like I can just speak some things. So he said something in Korean and I was like and then he was like fumbling over his words though, and he was like and then he like wrote it in his phone and translated it and he showed me, and my jaw dropped because the boldness that he just said this in Korean. He just said this with his mouth and he's saying it again now through Translate, and at no point has he thought, is this a creepy thing to say? He's done it twice now. He's done it verbally and now he's done it in writing. The message said, like the translation said, do you want an arm? Do you want to sleep on my arm tonight? Or something like that. Like, do you need an arm to sleep on? I literally looked at it, I read it, no delay. I said, 아니요, like this. I literally said no to his face. I was just like, no. And then I laughed because I was like, is that a joke? Like in my head, I was thinking, is that seriously a joke? Did you really just chase me up to my room, which is in the female only hallway, to ask me if I wanted to sleep on your arm? Like, that's a joke. That's a joke. So I laughed, but then he didn't say anything. He was just like, and I was like, he's not laughing, so what? So I was just like, was he being serious? So I was like, okay, that's a bit awkward. So I was like, bye. Open the door to leave, was halfway through the door, and I feel his hands all over my backside, bum, like waist, everything. He just has a good old feel of everything. Like literally in the split second I turned around, he's there. I turned around, I was like, what are you doing? And he just went, oh. Like, I think I looked him up and down, but I was just like, what did he just do? Because I had not spoken to this guy. I was just like this, like, are you on drugs or something? Like, what? I didn't say any of this. I literally just closed the door behind me, went to my room, went to bed. Didn't say anything about it to anybody until halfway through the next day when I was talking to Cedric and I said, oh, you know that guy last night who passed out? He was like, yeah. I was like, he kind of like groped me, and I told him the story and he was like, oh, you should tell somebody that works there, like you should tell whoever it was that invited him. And I felt kind of awkward about it, especially because some time had passed, so I actually didn't say anything until I think maybe just a little while, maybe it was that evening or maybe it was a couple of days later. I said to the guy who works there, who kept getting everybody to drink, like the party guy, I said to him just like, oh, who was that? Like, who was that guy? And he said, I don't know, it's not my friend. I never saw him again, so I'm wondering if maybe Cedric told somebody or people found out somehow. I mean, if anybody found out, then it would have been Cedric that told them because I didn't tell anyone. So that's pervert number one. The next perverts that we met, I think we went to the club. I mean, obviously at every club, everywhere you go, there's going to be perverts. Perverts in the clubs in Korea, I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like it's because we were foreign. Honestly, I feel like that's the reason. I feel like a lot of guys there have it in their head that foreign girls are just like, they just want it. Like, that's what they want. Like, they just want it. And so I feel like they are maybe a bit more bold. I was out with Sissy and her friends, and I was out with Feda and Emma. So Feda was with some people and I was with Emma. This one guy wanted to start dancing with Emma, and I think she maybe turned around for a sec and then turned around again. So her face was facing me and I was like, Emma, why don't you want to dance with him? Like, he's really hot, he's really good looking. And she said, oh, we saw him maybe last night or the night before and he's really pushy. And as soon as she said that, he like grabbed her face, literally grabbed her face. Like, she was like facing me. He like grabbed her face, turned her around and like started like trying to make out with her, and I was like, oh, like she literally just said she didn't want to do that. So we left, like we tried to get away from him, and then she found Feda again, so she was with Feda, and then I was with Isis again and her friends, and we literally like, we were not feeling it, like we were not feeling the vibe, like people were being creepy that night. So we were just literally sitting around a table protecting our bags, maybe just having a little like 1-2 step, like nothing, literally nothing. I see the guy come again, then starts trying to dance with me, like you know how people do it, like they literally just grab your hips. Like, did I ask for this? No, you know, so you try and get away. You gotta try and swim away, swim through the crowd, get away from them. So I'm like trying to like this, trying to get away. Isis is like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, like I don't want to dance with him. And as soon as I said that, Sissy's friend, is that my phone? So as soon as I said that, Isis's friend told him like no, and he just gave her the dirtiest look. And then I think he went to grab me again, and she put her arm out and said like, no, don't grab her. And he pushed her. He pushed her. Now I know exactly what Emma meant when she said that this guy is pushy. In the end, he literally ended up taking a seat on the table next to us and was just like staring at me. And I was like, what are you doing? Like literally, like, you know I don't want to dance with you. You just pushed my friend and you have the cheek to sit there and just stare at me. So that's like the other perverted time. Like you will find a pervert in real life at the club. And then we move on to my Airbnb. So my first Airbnb, I thought it was fine, like I thought it was great. Now I'm wondering if there is an issue with it, because that Airbnb, I mean I thought it was perfect, like it suited me fine. Like a lot of the rooms have like just like an electronic key, so you just put in a code. You don't even need to meet the Airbnb host for a key or anything like that. They literally just tell you the code via email. You never see them face to face. You just log in and you have the privacy the whole time of your own little apartment. It's usually in like an apartment building. So I never met the host, but I do remember that on their page it said that they had multiple rooms within that building alone and all over Seoul. So in my head I'm like, oh, they're like kind of professional, like they're a little bit of an Airbnb mogul, okay. But now I'm thinking like, is this for something else? Because I remember that room did have like a strange amount of electrical equipment. It had a TV, and I was not expecting there to be a TV in there, but now I've read articles about hidden cameras being hidden in TV boxes, being hidden in electrical items, and that is not something that I even thought about. And the way that it was set up was like, the room was kind of small and there was just a double bed underneath the window, and then the TV was just facing the bed. I mean, that's kind of obvious because if you don't have room for a sofa, then you're probably going to watch the TV from bed, so it makes sense that the TV would be facing the bed. It was just strange because the way that the TV was in there was like, it's not really room for this, and there's no need for it because I don't watch TV. Like I literally do not watch it. And I think the room said like foreigners only, but the only TV that you can watch is all Korean TV. So like, I mean, one evening I did watch it, but it's like all in Korean. I wonder how many other foreigners would actually just watch the TV when they can't even understand it. Now I'm thinking like, what was the reason for the TV being in their room? What was the reason? What was the reason? Anyway, we don't know about that, but what we do know about is my next Airbnb that I went to. So the next Airbnb that I went to was further south in Seoul. It was underneath the river, like, so it was kind of south, like not totally far away, but because I'd spent most of my time in Hongdae, like it kind of felt far away from Hongdae, but it was really just a different area of Seoul that I hadn't really explored. I went there and I booked it so last minute. Literally I booked it like the night before, but I thought that I booked another private room like the one that I had before. When I got there, because my friend actually helped me move there, when we got there then we couldn't find it, and I was like trying to call the guy like, where is it? And he was like, oh, I'll come and find you. So he came, he helped us take the bags up, and then when he took the bags up, he then wanted to like stay and make tea for us, and he like was offering us cookies and stuff, and I was like, okay, but is he gonna leave? And then I realized that this was not like a private Airbnb, because he actually, well, the thing was, is it kind of was supposed to be like, there wasn't supposed to be a host there. It was kind of like a pretty big house, like it was quite a fancy house, kind of like what you see in the dramas sometimes. And so there were 2 bedrooms on complete opposite ends of the house. So then there was a shared kitchen, a shared lounge, and then there was actually like, you know, just those stairs that go up to a platform, and then there was a bed on the platform. I don't know really how you can like say that that's gonna be a room or whatever. There was no one up there. So when we got there, he said, oh yeah, there's gonna be a guy in this room down there, and you'll be in this room. I was like, okay, that's cool, that's fine. So then after a while, like while he's sitting there drinking tea with us, I was like, so do you live here? And he was like, no. And I was like, where do you live? And he was like, oh, in another apartment. It's like, I don't want to be rude because, I mean, you own the place, but it's like, I've booked this right now. Like, you're not supposed to be here, you know, because I'm like kind of antisocial. And it's like, I hadn't even realized that I had booked a room in a big place anyway. I thought I had booked the whole place. It was already a surprise to find out that there was somebody else in this other room and there was this room upstairs. So I was kind of already thinking like, I want to book somewhere else. Like, I don't want to stay here. But then it like just makes it worse that it's like, I mean, your page said that the host didn't live there. The page said that the host wouldn't be there, but you are here. You are like insisting on talking to me and stuff. I mean, like I had stuff to do. So it was like, I don't really, like, it's not really my thing. I went to my room, like put my stuff in the room and I told him like, oh, I'm gonna like work on some stuff. And he was like, oh, you can work with me. Like he was working on his laptop. I mean, I really hope he doesn't see this because another really awkward thing is that accidentally when I replied to him, it just made it awkward then because it was just like, I only just met you, like I don't want to do like parallel play, like I don't want to be working alongside you, like it's kind of awkward, no? And that room, I think that it must have all been fine. Like I can't think, like there was no TV. One thing, like I did have like this uneasy feeling though while I was in that room, and I could never I never knew why I had that feeling. I never paid that much attention to the windows because there were pretty much windows all on one side of the room, like floor to ceiling windows, but on the other side of the window there was like shutters. So there was like a little space and then there were shutters. So I just thought it was like a double window. Like I didn't really think about it. I was just like, oh, it's like a double window, or it's a pest control window, or it's a pollution window or something. Like I didn't honestly think about it. But for some reason in that room, like I had this uneasy feeling. I felt kind of weird like going to sleep in that room, and there were just things, I don't know why, like I just had that feeling when I was in that room and I could never put my finger on it. I would always try to close the curtains from like one end to the other. I don't know why, like I was just like, oh, I better close these curtains, like make sure like no one can see through, because I didn't even think of it like that though, because when I looked to the other side, like you couldn't really see anybody else's window. So I thought, I can't see anyone's window, so no one can see this window, so no one can see in, and we were pretty high up as well. So I don't know why I had that uneasy feeling. Then we get to the crux of it. At this point I've maybe been in Korea for like 3 weeks, so I obviously had washing to do. I had to like wash all of my underwear and everything like that. So I was literally just washing underwear. Isis came around and we filmed a video, and then as soon as we were done filming the video, the washing was still going and we literally just wanted to go out and get some food to eat. Actually, we filmed it and it was a mukbang and we put it on her channel, but the washing was still going. It still had like maybe half an hour on the washing, and we thought we would maybe take like an hour or an hour and a half. But we were like, it's okay because the washing's gonna be finished in half an hour and then it will probably do some draining, and then when it's done we'll just come back and hang it up. It's not like it's just gonna sit in the washing machine and get smelly. So also understand that my Wi-Fi in Korea like was non-existent. Like Wi-Fi 없어. I did not have Wi-Fi. Also I did not have any data, so trying to get into contact with me was just the worst. Like I did not have any way of getting in contact with people. I was connected to some Wi-Fi at a coffee shop, or if somebody was hotspotting me. Like that was the only time that anybody could actually contact me. So I think we basically ate all of the food with no one being able to contact me, and then on the way back maybe I just had like some random Wi-Fi, or maybe CC hotspotted me, I can't remember which, but either way I started getting messages as we were like heading back, and it was the Airbnb host. So while we were out eating, he had come home and he was messaging me. He said, Lana, is this your washing in the washing machine? If you don't hang it out soon it's gonna get smelly. So I like shot back right away. I was just like, it's fine, like he wasn't there when I put the washing on, but he came back in the evening while we were out, right? So I shot back a message right away and I was like, it's fine, because I was thinking like, don't touch it, bitch, don't touch it. So I was just like, it was literally all my underwear, like all of my like delicates, like thongs, all of that. At this point I was not even stressing out, so I was like, it's fine, we just went out for dinner, we're only gonna be about half an hour, we're on our way back. And then he fired back like, do you want me to hang it out for you? And I was like, no, we're gonna be back in like half an hour, it's fine, don't do that, I'm gonna do it when I get back. Then he shot back like, okay, I'm doing it. And I was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, bitch, no, I just said we're gonna come back and I'm gonna do it. So I was like saying to Cece, like, what the fuck, he's gonna do it. So I'm there and now I'm like panicking. I was like, don't touch it. Like it's seriously like all my underwear and stuff. Like this is gonna be so weird. Because this guy was definitely like an ajashi. Like he was a bit older. I'd say maybe like 40. So I'm there and I'm like firing back. I was like, don't worry about it. We're gonna be back soon. Don't do it. I'm gonna do it. Like I said, don't do it. I said that. I said, don't do it. And I think he replied back something like, do you want me to do it? And I was like, no. Like, I just said, don't do it. And then I get an email. He says, no problem, I've done it. Like, bitch, I just said don't do it. So anyway, we had to go back to that apartment and face him. And now it's kind of awkward trying to face, you know, a 40-year-old man whose house you're in, who has just had his hands all up in your delicates. Anyway, we got there, he met Cece for the first time. We were just like fooling around a little bit, and then he left. Like, I don't know whether he was expecting me to say thank you for doing it, but I completely avoided the subject because I didn't want to talk about it. I was just like, you did something that I asked you not to do. Like, you had your hands all up in my private things when I told you not to do it. So I just avoided talking about it completely. I don't know whether he was upset that I didn't say thank you for it, but anyway, he left. So then I was like, okay, where is all my stuff? Because like we couldn't see it. And then so we were in the lounge, and like bear in mind, like the window for the lounge is on the same side of the apartment as my bedroom was. So my bedroom had windows on the same side of the apartment as what the lounge had. I'm like, okay, well there's the window, maybe he put it outside. And then I saw like what this thing was for. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a balcony or what. Like, I don't know what it is because it was so thin. Like, it's just like big enough for like one person to walk down. He had put a rack out there for drying clothes, which is fair enough. Like, you can dry your clothes out there because it's quite ventilated. Like, it's like a window between windows and the shutters and whatever. But my clothes, literally, I opened the thing, I moved my pair of jeans out of the way, I walked around into the little mini balcony, and I kid you not, what I saw was so disturbing because every single piece of my underwear had been laid out so neatly and so precisely and so evenly, and it had been folded like this way and that way, and I was just like, how much time did you spend with my underwear? And why? When I told you not to. And then that made me feel even worse because I realized that from here you can walk to right outside my window, and I didn't realize that. Like, I didn't realize this was kind of like, it's kind of a balcony, like you can walk in this space. So I was like, is this the reason why I felt so uneasy? You know, a woman's intuition is next level, and I did not know why I felt uneasy, but now I'm thinking, is that the reason? Because there was this space outside my window where somebody could be standing and I wouldn't have known. Anyway, so after that, things were a bit awkward. Like, after that, I don't think the Airbnb host was like hanging out around the place very much. Although one time, oh my gosh, no, I just remembered something insane. So he said he didn't live there, okay? He said that he had an apartment, like he just like, oh, like somewhere, wherever. I don't know about the guy's room. Like, I never saw the guy, I never saw that room. At one point, like maybe on my third night there, a girl moved into like the loft bit. Like, I don't know how you can call that a room, that's just a bed, and like considering all the other area is shared, so I don't know how he booked a female to stay there, knowing that he was going to be in and out of the place, knowing that he was maybe gonna decide to start cooking in the kitchen or maybe do some work in the lounge, where he would have had full view of this girl there. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know. And I don't know if she understood it either, because at one point she was like just chilling on the sofa, like on the phone, and then I came out and she looked a bit shook, and I was like, does she know that this is not her whole place? Because honestly, I can't even remember what it said on the booking, but I was surprised to realize that it was not the whole, like, we didn't have the whole place. I mean, I barely spoke to her. I think she was Chinese. One night he left. Like, he kept leaving at maybe like 9 or 10 p.m. And then maybe at like 11, half 11, like I was like maybe watching Netflix, like I was getting ready for bed. And then he barges into the flat and he's like, stop smoking. And he knew exactly who was smoking. I don't even know how he knew that somebody was smoking, because I couldn't smell anything. I was in bed, I couldn't smell anything, and as far as I know, the only windows to the whole place led straight to the outside, and we were on the corner apartment, so I don't think that there was an apartment on the other side of the building on this side. I don't know. I mean, anyway, like the whole of Seoul is like so, I mean, there's going to be so many cars downstairs and stuff like that, like so much traffic downstairs. I feel like the smell of like exhausts and things, if smoke did happen to come out of the window and then drift across to another window, which we don't even know if that's where he stayed, stays, like if he was next door, who knows. But even if it did drift across there, I feel like it would have dispersed so much among the other exhausts that you wouldn't even be able to trace it by that point. He said, "You're not supposed to smoke in here." And he was speaking in English because I think she was Chinese. So he was speaking in English and he said, "You're not supposed to be smoking in here." And I don't even know if she was smoking at that point. So I was just thinking, like, how the hell did he know that she was smoking? Because I'm in the same house as her and I can't smell anything. If it had come underneath the door, I mean, I shared a window with her, so I don't even know why I'm talking about it going out the window then drifting to another window. I share a window with her. I shared the balcony thing with the lounge and she was in the loft of the lounge. So if it came down, went out the window, drifted through to my window, I didn't smell anything. So I don't know how he knew that she was smoking. And I remember when that happened, I was like texting my friend, I was like, he must have a hidden camera in here because I don't know how he knows that she was smoking. Anyway, at that point we were just like laughing about things. We just thought things were kind of funny. I didn't really think too much about any of that up until that point. Like, we just thought like maybe he had a camera in the room, which would have been creepy because, I mean, it was already creepy because that girl had no privacy. Like, I don't know where she was getting dressed, where she was getting changed. Like, and it was just creepy enough that he just came out of nowhere. The hidden camera thing, I did think about it a little bit because I was already aware. I did know that Korea has a problem with hidden cameras, so it was something that I was thinking about when I was using public bathrooms. I was sort of just scanning around, just seeing if there was any sort of device that looked like it would have a camera in it. But then I don't think I actually thought about how small these cameras are. These cameras are so small, you could literally put it in so many places and not realize. And I think a lot of the time I didn't think about it. Like, sometimes I was like, oh yeah, like the hidden camera thing, like I should probably look out for that. I watched some videos before I went and they mentioned that it was such a big problem. This girl who had been to Korea, she said she remembers she was about to go into a public bathroom, but all of these like elite squad team police women went in there and like checked everything for cameras and then left again. So she was a bit like shaken by that. She was like, what are they doing? Like, I knew that this was a problem. But then obviously in the past couple of weeks and yesterday, we've heard a lot about it. So in the past couple of weeks, the story broke about the K-pop stars and idols who had been involved in an online chat room and they were sharing illegally filmed videos of sexual acts. Now, I just want to put a trigger warning out there that some of these chat rooms are absolutely vile, and to me I think it's bad enough if somebody is gonna film like I actually can't even think of what it's called, I'm such a child, but anyway, if somebody is going to film intercourse between two people, or if one of these people is filming it without the other person's knowledge, then that's vile. And then they're sharing it on online chat rooms, they're sharing it on websites, and there are people paying to watch this stuff. Now, I thought that's disgusting enough, but then there are idols, celebrities. There's one star, his name is Jung. His involvement in this chat is so disgusting, it makes your stomach turn over, because some of the things he was talking about, I mean, you want to talk about filming it, that's bad enough. That can ruin people's lives, and I think it did ruin people's lives. But he was talking about how he drugged women, they fell unconscious, and then he was abusing them and filming it and sending it to the group. And the group even pointed out the fact that she was unconscious. There was one member of the group, I can't remember his name, but he seemed like maybe there was a piece of his conscience that was trying to fight through, because he said something like, but that girl is faded, like he said something like, that girl, she's gone, something like that, like implying, but that girl's unconscious. I don't know, there was all these different people in this chat, I don't know who was who, but anyway, I thought it was Jung who said, so what do you want me to do about it? About the fact that this girl was unconscious while he was doing these disgusting things to her. So disgusting that I don't even want to put the words out of my mouth. And then obviously the singer Seungri from Big Bang was part of this chat. That is just so disappointing and it makes you feel sick. I don't know if any new evidence has come out about Seungri. I don't know if it's been proven that he did anything like that. I just know that he knew it was going on among his friends and he did nothing to stop it. Now, I fully believe in this quote from Mean Girls. Like, I live life by this quote. Like, there are two types of evil people. There are people who do evil and there are people who see evil being done and do nothing to stop it. So by that definition, Seungri is an evil person because he's seen evil being being done and has done nothing to stop it. Now I know there's going to be like VIPs, Big Bang fans in my comments telling you can't say these things about Seungri. Nothing's been proven. It's been proven that he was part of that chat, okay? He knew what was going on. So I don't care whether he did it or not, but he knew that that was going on, and he knew what was going on at his club. So there you go. There's just a couple of stories. I want to pretend to be an expert on it. I think there are other YouTube channels that you can watch that are more likely to be able to tell you more things about this and maybe tell you more with a greater insight than what I can. If you guys did want my little 2 cents, seeing as you've made it this far into the video, for me just to say a couple of things why I think that the culture is maybe like this. Firstly, because of censorship in the media. There is a huge amount of censorship. Like, so in the UK, a romance drama that comes on after 9 o'clock means that they're going to be rolling around in bed. You're going to see this, you're going to see that, you're probably going to see both of them naked. Like, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, that's probably all going to happen 3 episodes in, and then you've got the rest of the season where they cheat on somebody else. And then, I mean, this is getting a bit raunchy, but this is like the Henry VIII dramas, Poldark, probably. I've never seen Poldark, but probably Downton Abbey. I mean, you see it in everything. You see it in Jane the Virgin, you see it in this, you see it in that. Like, that's just how TV is here, like, just is. Whereas if you watch TV in Korea, like a 20 series season builds up to 1 kiss, right? 1 kiss. And I mean, I feel like that forces people to look for that kind of stuff elsewhere. I mean, I'm pretty sure porn is illegal. I don't know. I think porn is illegal. Everybody knows that everybody watches it. I mean, you guys have seen so many episodes. I mean, you guys know that RM from BTS was giving their computer viruses from all the porn that he watched. If you're restricting it and you're not allowing people to have access to anything like that, then maybe that's why they go onto these shady websites. They go and they look and they pay a subscription to watch videos that have been taken of people without their consent. They watch videos of changing rooms, bathrooms, toilets, motels, like love motels, Airbnbs, upskirt videos. This is just one idea that I'm even trying to think of, and I don't even like this idea because that implies that the people watching this stuff and paying a subscription can't even help themselves. And they can help themselves. They know that what they're doing is wrong. There has been news about it. There have been protests about it. The women of Korea marched and they held up placards and signs saying, "My life is not your porn." So these people who are doing this, they know it's wrong. And we have a problem with it. Even in Western countries, people still want to watch stuff that was obtained without consent because it makes them feel like they have some sort of power over that individual. As for the guy at the guest house, he was just a straight up pervert. But see, the thing is, I have seen so many shows where perverted behavior is almost normalized. Like, I remember I watched Suspicious Partner and I love that show, and they were dealing with a murderer, so they knew the murderer was bad. Like, the murderer was a bad guy, he killed people, he was a bad guy. But there was another character who was groping the main character. In the very first episode, he groped her and he was like squeezing her bum and stuff, and he was a serial offender. He kept doing this to a lot of people. It was all a bit comical. The rest of the show had been very serious. They were trying to catch a murderer. There was also a romance plot going on which had like all of the soft sappy music, and then there was the murderer plot, and the murderer was a bad guy. And then there was a pervert, and that's like thong thong, beat him up, ha ha ha, that's funny, silly pervert. Like, this, like, perverted behavior is not funny and it's not acceptable. Like, this guy is a pervert. I think they maybe brought him in for questioning. He didn't go to prison. I think they just laughed it off, maybe gave him a tap on the wrist, said like, "Ugh, not another one." And I've seen that in other shows as well. Like, there is always this perverted character. Like, it's a very, very common theme in lots of shows for somebody to just be perverted, somebody to just grope the women. It's kind of seen as normal, and it's not. I mean, that's all I can say on that. As for the stuff that Jin Jong-young was doing, as for the stuff that Seungri was doing, it's absolutely abhorrent, absolutely disgusting. I even wanted to go to Seungri's club. I wanted to go to Burning Sun. I can never remember it because the way that different people were pronouncing it, I never know if it's Burning Sun or Morning Sun. I think it's Morning Sun. Anyway, so I wanted to go to that, because when I first stepped foot in Korea, I was still a fan of Seungri. I was like, yeah, I want to go to Seungri's club in Gangnam. And a few people said to me, oh, don't go there, because at that point the whole story had not broke. So a lot of people were just saying, oh, don't go there, like, people do drugs there. And I was just thinking, like, I don't care if other people do drugs, I'm not going to do drugs, I want to go to Morning Sun. And people didn't want to go. And I'm glad I did not go, because who knows what would have happened. and I'm just asking you guys now, like, don't let this taint your perception of Korea. This is just a few very nasty people, evil people. You can see why this was not just like a normal story time. Like, this is like a legit terrible thing, and I didn't want to make light of it in any way. That is everything from me today. I will be posting a lot more Korea vlogs where we had lots and lots of fun in Korea. We had so much fun in Korea. And I love everybody that I met in Korea. All of my Korean friends are amazing. Anyway, so yeah, that's everything from me today. Thanks so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if it was insightful, eye-opening at all. It seems weird to ask for a thumbs up on a video like this, but honestly I feel like maybe this kind of thing is important. I don't make videos like this usually. Usually they're like a bit more cheerful or helpful or whatever. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!